Marie Curie, known as the mother of modern physics, died from aplastic anemia, a rare condition linked to high levels of exposure to her famed discoveries, the radioactive elements polonium and radium. Still, after more than 100 years, much of Curie's personal effects, including her clothes, furniture, cookbooks, and laboratory notes, are still radioactive, author Bill Bryson writes in his book, A Short History of Nearly Everything. Regarded as national and scientific treasures, Curie's laboratory notebooks are stored in lead-lined boxes at France's Bibliothèque Nationale in Paris. While the library grants access to visitors to view Curie's manuscripts, all guests are expected to sign a liability waiver and wear protective gear as the items are contaminated with radium-226, which has a half-life of about 1,600 years, according to Christian Science Monitor. Her body is also radioactive and was therefore placed in a coffin lined with nearly an inch of lead. The Curies are buried in France's Pantheon, a mausoleum in Paris which contains the remains of distinguished French citizens, like philosophers Rousseau and Voltaire. Libertas, Latin for liberty, is the Roman goddess and personification of liberty. She became a politicized figure in the late Republic, featured on coins supporting the Populares faction, and later those of the assassins of Julius Caesar. Nonetheless, she sometimes appears on coins from the imperial period, such as Galba's Freedom of the People, coins during his short reign after the death of Nero. She is usually portrayed with two accoutrements, the rod and the soft pileus, which she holds out, rather than wears. The Greek equivalent of the goddess Libertas is Eleutheria, the personification of liberty. There are many post-classical depictions of liberty as a person which often retain some of the iconography of the Roman goddess. The goddess Libertas is also depicted on the Great Seal of France, created in 1848. This is the image which later influenced French sculptor Frédéric Auguste Bartholdi in the creation of his Statue of Liberty enlightening the world. Libertas, along with other Roman goddesses, has served as the inspiration for many modern-day personifications, including the Statue of Liberty on Liberty Island in the United States. According to the National Park Service, the statue's Roman robe is the main feature that invokes Libertas and the symbol of liberty from which the statue derives its name. In addition, money throughout history has borne the name or image of Libertas. As liberty, Libertas was depicted on the obverse head side of most coinage in the U.S. into the 20th century, and the image is still used for the American Gold Eagle gold bullion coin. The University of North Carolina records 2 instances of private banks in its state depicting Libertas on their banknotes. Libertas is depicted on the 5, 10 and 20 Rappen denomination coins of Switzerland. The symbolic characters Columbia, who represents the United States, and Marianne, who represents France, the Statue of Liberty, Liberty enlightening the world, in New York Harbor, and many other characters and concepts of the modern age were created, and are seen, as embodiments of Libertas. Yes, We Have No Bananas, is a novelty song by Frank Silver and Irving Cohn published July 19, 1923. It became a major hit in 1923, placing number 1 for 5 weeks when it was recorded by Billy Jones, Billy Murray, Arthur Hall, Irving Kaufman, and others. It was recorded later by Benny Goodman and his orchestra, Spike Jones and his City Slickers, and many more. It also inspired a follow-up song, I've Got the Yes, We Have No Bananas Blues, recorded by Billy Jones, Sam Lannon with vocals by Irving Kaufman, and others in 1923. Al Jolson recorded, on film, an operatic version, in blackface, in the 1930s. Frank Silver explained the origin of the song to Time magazine. I am an American, of Jewish ancestry, with a wife and a young son. About a year ago my little orchestra was playing at a Long Island hotel. To and from the hotel I was wont to stop at a fruit stand owned by a Greek, who began every sentence with, yes. The jingle of his idiom haunted me and my friend Cohn. Finally, I wrote this verse and Cohn fitted it with a tune. The song was the theme of the outdoor relief protests in Belfast in 1932. These were a unique example of Protestants and Catholics in Northern Ireland protesting together, and the song was used because it was one of the few non-sectarian songs that both communities knew. The song lent its title to a book about the Depression in Belfast. The term has been resurrected on many occasions, including during rationing in the United Kingdom in World War II, when the British government banned imports of bananas for 5 years. Shop owners put signs stating, yes, we have no bananas, in their shop windows in keeping with the war spirit. The song was the subject of a column by Sigmund Spieth, who suggested that the melody could have been derived from a combination of parts of other songs, including the Hallelujah chorus, from Messiah by Handel, my Bonnie lies over the ocean, I dreamt I dwelt in marble halls, Aunt Dinah's quilting party, and Cole Porter's, an old-fashioned garden. At age 11, Pele was discovered by Waldemar de Brito, one of Brazil's top players. De Brito took him under his wing and trained him in secret. When Pele was 12, de Brito placed him on the local junior club, Boquinho. Pele danced home the day he got his own uniform because finally, he was a real soccer player like his father. It may not seem such a big deal to some, but to me, it was one of the thrills of my life, Pele later revealed to biographer Joe Marcus. He scored many goals for Boquinho, using both his feet and his head to drive balls into the net. Pele's scoring, dribbling, and passing skills made him the talk of Brazilian junior soccer. When Pele was 15, de Brito brought him to the directors of Santos, a top club team, and told them, "This boy will be the greatest soccer player in the world." In an exhibition game on September 7, 1956, Pele entered the game in the second half for Santos and within a few minutes scored his first goal as a professional. He began earning about $60 a month playing for Santos. In his second season, Pele became a starter on the team and started scoring from everywhere on the field. He was the top scorer in the league and became a national hero by scoring 3 goals in a game pitting the top players from Santos and another Brazilian club against the Belenenses club from Portugal. Late in 1957, Pele was picked for the national team. Before Explorer was introduced in Windows 95, the Windows desktop was a very different place. The icons on your desktop did not represent files, rather, when you minimized a program, it turned into an icon on the desktop. To open a minimized program, you had to hunt for its icon, possibly minimizing other programs to get them out of the way, and then double-click it. You could also Alt+Tab to the program. Explorer changed the desktop model so that icons on your desktop represent objects, files, folders rather than programs. The job of managing programs fell to the new taskbar. But where did the windows go when you minimized them? Under the old model, when a window was minimized, it displayed as an icon. The icon had a particular position on the screen, and the program drew the icon in response to paint messages. Of course, most programs deferred to DefWindowProc, which just drew the icon. In other words, the window never went away, it just changed its appearance. But with the taskbar, the window really does go away when you minimize it. Its only presence is in the taskbar. The subject of how to handle windows when they were minimized went through several iterations, because it seemed that no matter what we did, some program somewhere didn't like it. The first try was very simple. When a window was minimized, the Windows 95 window manager set it to hidden. That didn't play well with many applications, which cared about the distinction between minimized and visible and hidden and not visible. Next, the Windows 95 window manager minimized the window just like the old days, but put the minimized window at coordinates -32,000, -32,000. This didn't work because some programs freaked out if they found their coordinates were negative. So the Windows 95 window manager tried putting minimized windows at coordinates 32,000, 32,000. This still didn't work because some programs freaked out if they found their coordinates were positive and too large. Finally, the Windows 95 window manager tried coordinates 3000, 3000. This seemed to keep everybody happy. Not negative, not too large, but large enough that it wouldn't show up on the screen, at least not at screen resolutions that were readily available in 1995. If you have a triple monitor Windows 98 machine lying around, you can try this. Set the resolution of each monitor to 1024 x 768 and place them corner to corner. At the bottom right corner of the third monitor, you will see all your minimized windows parked out in the boonies. Windows NT stuck with the -32,000 coordinates and didn't pick up the compatibility fixes for some reason. I guess they figured that by the time Windows NT became popular, all those broken programs would have been fixed. In other words, let Windows 95 do your dirty work.